what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Ain't no mistake, bro. That train is coming. Train's coming down the tracks. And we're about to get in this Brian Kelly sound because I think Brian Kelly sounds confident, man. I really think he does. Ain't no shying away, okay? He's basically laying it out in the press conference yesterday. This defense is going to have to do enough. And the best part of your team, the offense, is going to have to be at its best. And he's got confidence in the offense. They ready to have, saying that, look, man, they're confident. They ain't scared. Get the hell out of here. Briley. I'm inspired by Dabo's Tyler, which I do want to play. I actually want to play the entire Dabo 5-minute clip later and adjudicate whose side we're on. Because I think I could go either way with it. For those that missed it, Dabo got a little triggered at his coach's show, but I thought it was kind of like, I don't know. I thought did you listen to the whole thing, Jake? I'm going to be interested to see where you, we're going to do that in hour 3. I'll be interested to see where you land on the other side. Cause like, it's one of those where at first you're like, wow, he seems really insecure. But then you're like, okay, but actually, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's kind of like the guns blazing technique maybe actually works in a weird way. I don't know. We'll adjudicate it. Like I said, later in the show.
2-4 in conference play.
Yeah, no, and Notre Dame coming up next. So, which I can't decide, is that bad or good? Because it's probably a loss. But if you win, then that helps pretty immensely.
Yeah, but still bad.
Yeah, I mean, probably because you're going to be 4
That number's only
5.
2.5 for Notre Dame, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's in Memorial Stadium, but still 2.5. Oof.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit surprised, given that Notre Dame seems to kind of be rolling right now. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some of this Brian Kelly sound. He addressed the media yesterday. Let's just start at the top. This is Brian Kelly talking about the opportunity presented by going to Tuscaloosa.
Certainly an exciting week. Get an opportunity to, test ourselves against an outstanding football team in Alabama. And I think everybody knows that, this is, one of those games that, puts you in a position to challenge for an SEC championship. So we got to go on the road to Tuscaloosa. We've got to raise our level of preparation this week. It's not about rising up to the competition. It's rising to the level of preparation necessary to play an outstanding football team in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
And then here is Brian Kelly, too, on how they used the bye week to get ready for that opportunity.
I think it was important for us to do some self-scouting, some things that we needed to work on. I think it was important that, from a technical standpoint, we continue to grow technically in some areas on both sides of the ball. And then, you still want to meet a workload, criteria, because, you just can't continue to go through the season, then all of a sudden, put up a stop. So we got to about 70% of our average workload last week and gave the guys some active rest over the weekend. And then they reported last night, and we're back to work today.
How about this, Jake? So nowadays, all this analytical tracking, these coaches can put exact percentage points on their workloads. I believe Nick Saban said Alabama only did 67% of their work. Let's go. LSU literally outworked Alabama by 3% during the bye week, boys, okay? A responsible amount of outwork there. Now, Brian Kelly, actually, just give me Kelly 6. This is a real quick one. This is an update on the cornerbacks.
Deuce is not available. Denver's not available. Zai is not available. Ashton Stamps will practice today.
Tight. So, and he would reiterate, let's be clear, Deuce and Denver, it's kind of like that meme, like, it's just like, no. Like, they're not available for whatever reason.
They're still on the team, though.
Yeah, and good standing, which I didn't understand
but not
that
playing
answer
or
from
practicing.
last week. Yeah.
It's like T-Bob and I last week.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
standing.
Exactly.
But we couldn't be here.
Exactly. And then, go ahead.
Man, you brought in all of those players. Now, one's because of injury we saw, but, the other two, you don't know why. I mean, you have speculation, but you don't really know exactly why. It's like that's who you brought in to try to fix that position. Now, they didn't necessarily fix it, but that's what they were brought in before. And so, like, yeah, now you got to count on some players that just haven't done it before. And are they going to take they don't even know any better? Or is there going to be, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people in this stadium?
So, okay, so a couple of things to touch on with exactly what we were talking about. First off, let's talk. It was a very good question. I wish you could credit who asked it, but I can't remember who. But they're basically asking, like, when you have guys like that and there's so much pressure to win, does it make it hard basically to sit guys for, like, kind of discipline reasons, right? Because Alexander's hurt, and it sounds like he's going to be hurt for a while. Mekhi Wingo, they said, out for the season. Then he later came back and said, well, 6 weeks, so that sucks as well. We'll get to that. But it's going to be 10, Mario. This is Kelly 10, and this is on that just the win now pressure kind of make it hard to do things like sit 2 players that you know are your best 2 guys, but for whatever reason they've run afoul of your process.
It's never been a problem for me because I have a vision for our program, and the vision includes more than just winning. It includes developing excellence both on and off the field, and so we're certainly not there yet. You know, we have to continue to grow relative to the identity of our football team. So I know I'm hired and fired on wins and losses, but I've never really worried about that. This is the 5th program I've taken over, and I've always built the program based upon excellence in the classroom and on the football field. And then that process has usually taken care of itself, and it's equaled success. So I don't think I've ever looked at it that way. And it helps when you have a 10-year contract, too.
I do love the honesty there at the end, which, I mean, yeah, straight up, like that does take off some of the win now pressure. So basically saying, like, I don't care how much you complain or get angry. At the end of the day, if you run afoul of the process, where I don't care who you are, we're not going to play. Now, what does that leave? That leaves Jeremiah Hughes, as we said, Ashton Stamps, who's maybe the exciting name in there, hopefully back and fully ready to go. Toviano, and then I guess Sage Ryan and corners. I don't mean that in Sage. I mean that whole group's just like, wow, it's crazy how you got here. But here's what BK, this is Kelly 7. No, excuse me. No, this is Kelly 8. This is on why he thinks these guys are ready.
They've been around long enough now. I mean, you're into the season now, 8 games. They had, some time here in camp and some mid-year enrollment. So to say that they're inexperienced, yes, they haven't played a lot of SEC games, but they know what they're doing. They understand our techniques. They know what's expected of them. So we're in a position where we feel comfortable and confident that they can go out and get the job done.
And then here, give me Kelly 9. This is a continuation on the young cornerbacks.
I'd say more than anything else, you have to have confidence in your players and their ability to do it. And I've got confidence that, whether it's Jeremiah Hughes or Toviano, Ashton Stamps, all 3 of those freshmen can go out and, play at the level necessary for us to win a championship.
That's a strong sentence there at the end. Play the level for us to win a championship. Again, Brian Kelly not shying away from these things. And finally, at the end of the press conference, he would wrap back around and once again mention the young corners. It's going to be Kelly 26 here, Mario.
They're elite players coming out of high school. And now you're putting them in a position where they just have to be confident and trust their technique and trust what we've taught them. And so now it's taking that trust and putting it in from preparation to performance and playing emotionally at a level which allows them to do their job. And I think we've been at it long enough now where these guys are ready to go. They got no choice, but these guys are ready to play. And they're young. Many have said inexperienced. I get it. They haven't played a lot of SEC games, but these guys are really good players. And they'll get out there and they'll compete for LSU.
Jake, what do you think about that, man? Is this BK, trying to juice up his guys a little bit mentally before this game, or do you think he really kind of means what he says here? Because it is at odds a bit with like his post game, even from maybe last week or the week before, where he's like, "We got freshman corners," I mean, they're freshman corners. At the end of the day, they're freshman corners, and now it's like, no. These guys are great recruits, and they've been around now for half a season. Like they can do it.
And I mean, Toviano is one of your highest rated players that you had in this class. I think it was
True.
3rd overall in this class. And so he did have pretty high expectations coming in. And, maybe he got a chance to see them during the bye week. Maybe he got a chance to see them with the ones that he hadn't really had that opportunity. Maybe he likes what he sees there. in college football now, there's no longer, hey, you're going to come here, you're going to redshirt, and you're going to learn, and then you're going to play, and you're probably going to play in your third year after you've sat behind. No, it's not the case anymore. Like, you have to play fast now because of the portal, because of the way rosters are, because of the way they recruit now. So, I mean, you brought these players in. These are guys that you recruit. It's nobody else's recruits.
Yep.
I mean, this is somebody that your staff saw, you evaluated, you brought in. And I think what he's saying is, you've been here. Like, you've been here for the spring, and now you've been here through the summer camp, and it is now time. Like, there's no MAs. There's no misassignments on easy stuff. Go out there and play your technique. And, you know, again, like, these are players that they brought in, and, you know, how much they can count on them, I don't know. But he does sound confident. And usually Brian Kelly, he doesn't really try to hide much.
No.
Like, if he feels something like he did after the game about freshman corners, he's going to say it, which, you know, we can appreciate here in the media. But that was a confidence level of, I think he saw them during the bye week. He saw them do a couple of different things, and he's got some faith that they can go out there and have some success. Are they going to shut Alabama's receivers totally down? No, probably not.
I mean, well, granted, against a group that seems to be as young, maybe a couple different guys can pop off, but you're really concerned about, you're concerned about Jermaine Burton. He seems to be the one that all year long, when Alabama's found success, it's because he's gotten going, and maybe because it's been such a singular source that actually helps LSU a bit, you know, in that regard, because maybe you can. I mean, I don't really know. We've kind of talked about before. It's tough to think that you can just scheme to shut down one guy too much, but maybe there's something there. Briley says, that doesn't sound like bravado, Kelly. It might be speaking in existence, Kelly. It does sound confident, though. I agree he sounds confident. I thought this answer on the offense sounded very confident. Here is Kelly 12 on kind of the offense, not feeling the pressure that they have to do too much.
Yeah, I think the offense clearly recognizes their ability to be explosive, but have balance on offense and defense. So there's no reason for them not to be anything but who they are. And so I think that there's a confidence level that, you know, if they prepare the right way, if they stick to their process, that they're going to have success. And so I think that that's been their mindset, is just practice and, you know, put in the preparation the right way, and things will take care of themselves.
I thought that was very, you know, I like that answer, because I don't know about you, Jake, but that is one of my worries, is the offense feeling such a pressure, a need to be like, no, so some of the feelings we talked about earlier this season, where it's like, anytime you don't score, it's like, oh my God, is that going to be the difference in the game? Like, it's a very real feeling going into this game. It's a very good defense. Like, they're going to win some stops against you, and the offense being able to kind of stay within themselves, not panic, and just to continue to do the things that got them to this point is going to be paramount to success.
Yeah, that's what Jayden's been really good at this year, is not pressing anything, allowing the game to come to him, reading the game and making the right play, right? Whatever the coverage is, finding the open receiver. The last thing that you want is for him not to be himself, because he feels the extra pressure of having to go out there and do everything that you're talking about. Try to make the play when the play's not there to be made, because you feel like, man, we got to score every single time we get the football. Like, that's probably how they felt against Ole Miss. I've never been in that situation like that, but I have to imagine that's how they felt in that game. And then if they didn't score, it's like, are we going to be able to go out there and get a stop, and get us the ball back without them scoring any points? And so that's what the offense has to do, because the offense is going to have some success in this game. To what level, we don't know, but they're going to be successful at times without question. It's not going to be a 9-6 game. We can promise you that. So the offense has to allow the game to come to them like they've done such a good job of a majority of this year. Whatever the defense has given them, they have taken advantage of it with their, the totality of their weapons. And so that's the one thing for the offense, is Jayden not forcing the issue, being who he is, because who he is probably the best quarterback in the country right now.
Well, and it's interesting because he was asked about Jayden's Heisman hopes. It's going to be 18, Mario. And how people are kind of painting this game as, look, this is going to be it for, Jayden trying to win that award. And I thought, again, talk about being honest, and a lot of time honesty and confidence kind of go hand in hand here. I thought this was a pretty upfront answer from Brian Kelly on what this game means.
it'll be part of the body of work throughout the entire season. He's going to have other games. He's going to have the Florida game and Georgia State and Texas A&M and postseason, but it'll certainly be part of the body of work. If he throws 4 interceptions and, certainly we don't play well, that will be part of the body of work throughout the entire season. So again, I don't know that it's one game that makes or breaks a Heisman. I think it's the body of work, and I think we're seeing that as the season, plays out. But certainly, he's going to be judged on the entire season, and there'll be a lot of eyes certainly on this particular game.
So basically acknowledging there that, yeah, man, look, it's all together, but that this game in particular does mean a bit more. And then finally, here is Brian Kelly talking about, he was asked, is Kelly 13? He was asked about, hey, I guess he said something after the Army game about how much he's enjoyed coaching this team, maybe calling it the most fun or one of the most fun jobs he's ever had. And he was kind of asked to expound on that a little bit.
This is a young group of players. We traveled 21 freshmen again this weekend. We had a slew of transfers come in on defense, and it was really a new group that we had to kind of, onboard, if you will, in the second season. And so just the development of the football team has been enjoyable. Watching the growth of the football team. They've done everything we've asked them to do. They have done the little things, and it's been hard. It's not been easy. There was a difficult loss to start the season. There was a very disappointing loss on the road, but they haven't backed down at all, and that's been enjoyable as a coach.
Yeah, and let's see if they can keep it going with these young guys. It's kind of crazy, man. Traveling 21 freshmen is quite a bit. That's a full quarter. I mean, what's the travel roster, Jake? 80? Basically 85?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Is it less?
70, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, maybe so, actually, because
Yeah.
I think scholarships is like 80.
Scholarship's 85, yeah.
Yeah, and so and you don't travel, the whole team doesn't travel. So you're talking about well over a quarter of the roster being the travel roster being made up of freshmen, which is not always
it's
the
70.
norm.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So a very almost a third at that point of the travel roster being freshmen. So it's weird because this team is so strong and so experienced in some areas that you can kind of lose sight of how inexperienced it is in others. Let's see if this young team can go into Bama and get it done. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.